Welcome into Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you. Today's episode is brought to you by Anderson Flooring, and we're joined by head girls soccer coach Mike Arnold. Good to have you along, Coach.
Thank you.
We have talked to Ben already, but as far as the girls are concerned, how is things progressing through this season?
It's improved a lot. I mean, you've seen a lot of improvement from when we first started in the preseason, and once we finally got all of our girls there, just the process has been going, and we've finally started to see a lot better teamwork, a lot better play with the varsity team that we've got out there.
You know, you talk about getting players late, and conditioning's such a big part of any sport. But the thing is, all sports have different types of conditioning. So I know playing sports myself. When I was to play football, basketball conditioning was a lot different. It took me a few weeks to get into that. And I would imagine it's the same with soccer for the girls transitioning from maybe those other sports.
Now, we had Kira Allison and Alyssa Sullivan. Kira came from basketball, Alyssa came from swim. And, swim, your body resistance is just against the water.
Yeah.
There's not much, wear and tear on your joints and everything. So when she came out, it took her a little bit, and she's still having a little issues with her, her thighs still kind of twitching a little bit. But Kira was more along the lines of, it's not just a short sprint. It's
Right.
not on a basketball court. The field's 100 yards by 60 yards wide. And so, but they've gotten acclimated to it and starting to show a lot more improvement and a lot more endurance.
Yeah, and as far as who's some of the players that maybe have surprised you a little bit this year, who's kind of stepped up that you feel like not just this year, but maybe in years to come can really help this team?
Well, we lost a lot of our midfield last year. My defensive line, I've got Jaden Lawler, Sanea Rab, Adrena Gilbert, all are returning, and Tally Boyer. Tally's one that's really impressed me a lot with her versatility to be able to go from her outside defensive position, because she played inside D for me last year. And I moved her to the outside to where it would give her more space to run. And we tried last night. It was like I wanted to put her up at midfield, and it's a lot more ground to cover, a lot more running. So she's really stepped it up. Adrena and Jaden have really stepped up in my defense, taking control, using their voice to help direct the team. Callie Van Heusen is another one that's been, she's a returning starter. She's one of the three captains that I have. Adrena and Sanea are my two defenders. Adrena and Sanea are both seniors. They're captains as well. Great leaders on the team. Callie's my midfielder and /forward, and she's really improved because she came off of knee surgery the year, ended her season early last year, and she came back and just really, really impressed a lot. Emma Steichen is a returning senior. That's another one that's shown a lot of potential to be able to play at the next level. I mean, there's quite a few of my juniors and seniors right now that could go to the next level and play.
That's awesome. And you talk about, we mentioned progressing. You mentioned they have progressed. So where has this team, in what areas has this team progressed a lot this season?
Controlling and being able to work together. It's the width of the field is very crucial to being able to control the ball. I mean, if you can control the ball, then if you have the ball, they can't score.
And I'm sure there's analytics that show that the more you possess the ball, the more chances you get at goal, and the more chances you get at goal, naturally, the more chances you have to make a goal. So.
Yeah, and we've really improved on being able to widen the field. Our communication has gotten a lot better over the years. So with them being able to talk and being able to understand their specific role, it's just made our team improve over the season.
Let's talk about the communication, because that's so important in every sport, and I think that's something that a lot of times is lacking as far as us communicating how important it is, because communication, no matter what sport it is, and certainly soccer, when you rotate, when you have somebody cutting up the field, trying to get a through ball, I mean, all that stuff, these players have to communicate. They have to be loud and let the other player know what's going on, because there is so much space on a soccer field.
It comes down to trust. And, we saw it at the beginning of the season that players didn't trust other players because they hadn't played with them that much. And so you would have, they'd be coming at you with the ball. You'd have somebody covering them. And then next thing you know, I'd have 2 or 3 players there. And it comes down to now they're starting to understand, trust the player that's going to defend the ball, trust that the player is going to make the run where they're supposed to, and you just support them. I mean, it's a really big thing that they've improved on, is being able to understand each person's role on the field.
Yeah, that's important. The communication, like I said, very important in all sports. So coming up this week, you guys are going to be down in Stillwater. So that's always a fun little rivalry. So let's talk a little bit about this upcoming match you got coming on up with the Pioneers.
Well, we played in the Stillwater Cup here 3 weeks ago, and we lost our second game. If we'd have won that game, we would have played in Stillwater in the final. And so it was like kind of, I'd already planned in my mind whenever we were going to play. I was like, I'm not playing my players in the normal positions. It's like, I'm going to, for the tournament, since it wasn't a season game, it was like, I'm going to really throw them off. So whenever we go out there and play on Friday, they will see. And then fortunately, we didn't beat won our second match, and then we ended up beating Verdigris, which they had beat the day before.
Yeah.
Almost by the same score. So it's interesting. I mean, Seth and Tim, I think is the girls' coach name. Yeah. Real great guys. I've talked with them, but this is our, Enid and Stillwater are our two that we try to, like, you want to make sure you show up. We want to show up for all of them, but Stillwater and Enid are the ones that we really want to make sure that we come out and perform at our best.
Well, in a lot of sports too, you haven't kept up the rivalry with Stillwater. When we think about football, basketball, we got it back this year with the districts, but there's been some sports that haven't played Stillwater. Soccer has kind of kept an active role in playing the Pioneers over the years, especially since you've had the Stillwater Cup and even some regular season matches.
Well, we've been playing them in the Stillwater Cup. We do like a preseason tournament with them, but they haven't been on our schedule the whole time. Like Enid has been. Enid's always been, but now that they've put us in the same district, at least for the next 2 years, you're guaranteed it's going to be a game that's going to matter on whether we go to the playoffs, or not.
Yeah.
So, but I love going to Stillwater. I mean, it's a 45-minute drive. We get down there. It's an early night for us on getting back.
Right. Yeah.
But we have a good chance to come out with a win.
All right, you mentioned playoffs, and you got the schedule's progressing fast, not much left. You guys have to finish top four. It's different than maybe some other sports where they all get to go, or football, they get 6. Soccer, you have to finish in the top 4. So I think you guys are currently setting with the girls at 7. So tell us kind of what you think has to unfold if you guys want to make the playoffs coming up here in a few weeks.
I mean, we've got to win. We've got to win out. And we've got, Stillwater, then we've got Norman North, and then Broken Arrow. Norman North is semifinalists, and Broken Arrow and Norman North are always in the semifinals, if not finals. And so, it's just, we've got to be able to come play and just, play smart. That's what it comes down to. It's like Stillwater's, like I said, a rivalry, and then, we got Norman North here for senior night, then go to BA, and, it's April, so hope the weather stays nice.
Well, and you can't make the playoffs unless you get past the first one, which is Stillwater. Yep. So, it's kind of, in a way, you guys are already in playoffs right now.
It's just look ahead, and so you always look forward one game ahead. Don't advance too far.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough task, especially with the competition here in 6A. So the ultimate goal is to make the playoffs. But let's say just this season in general, what are you hoping to get out of the rest of the season?
We started it off as, I focus on myself and my assistant coaches, Shelby Creech and Tim McDaniel, have strived during the off season and on into the season for unity. Make a team. We're united as one. We're the Lady Cats. We're representing our team. We're representing our school, our community, and everything. And that's something that we've really strived for. Is we focus on, you got to make the grade in order to get to play. And so you focus on, standards outside of the school as to make him, respectable and just a team player. That's like, I'm trying to, think of the way to put it is we really focus on life lessons and help out when we can.
Yeah, and that's something I know Ben echoed as well on the boys' side of things too. So, well, best of luck. I'm rooting for you, and let's go get the rivalry win and snowball that into a few more, and who knows, maybe we look up in a few weeks and happen to be in playoffs.
I know. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach, appreciate it. Coach Mike Arnold, and that's going to do it for today's Coach's Corner. It's been brought to you by Anderson Flooring. Jordan Woodruff saying until next time, go Cats.